Well, good Thursday afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for Targeting the Violence. I'm Kym Anderson. And of course, we're always trying to find ways to better our youth, to better our community. I'm really excited about today's guest. She's here local for she's been here for a couple of weeks, still here for a little bit longer, but she's actually from the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area. Joining me now is LaShawn Wilson. LaShawn, you were with One Breath at a Time. And if you don't know what One Breath at a Time, just think about it, it has something to do with yoga. Let's talk about how you've got a program designed for children to kind of help calm them, so to speak. How does that work?
Yes, I have a program under One Breath at a Time, Health and Wellness Services. I have the absolute privilege, and when I say it's a privilege, it really is, to be in the presence of children, starting from the age of 2 all the way up, literally throughout high school and of course into adulthood. The program concentrates on social, emotional learning and development, as well as being able to start to understand what it feels like to feel good, to start to feel like I can manage myself, self-regulation, so that parents and teachers, and as we get older, other people, supervisors, police officers, whatever the case may be, does not tell us how we should act. We know how we should act, and we know how to level it down and calm ourselves down. We usually start with stretching the body, kind of get all of the wiggles out, especially when the kids are very young. And then we sit still, because stillness is a very supportive way of helping the whole system.
Okay.
So we sit still, and sometimes we time it. They love being timed. So we'll time it, and they'll see that the timer is getting low. And when it does, we take a nice deep breath in through our nose, and we exhale, tapping into the parasympathetic nervous system, calming the body down even more so. So we just level it out from the very beginning. And then we start to have lots of fun with movements. Depending on the age of the children, we do poses surrounded around animal themes. Downward facing dog. We like to do poses that involve nature, like tree pose, fish pose, all different kind of poses. And they have wonderful music that they get an opportunity to listen to. And the music usually have lyrics that also support them in their well-being. So they're being affected mentally, emotionally, and they're integrating it all physically. So they're moving their bodies. A lot of times there's laughing, and there's not always structure, yet there is structure, because life is like that.
Yes.
So I try my very best to have each class to have elements of real life, so that the children are able to use their practical skill sets and take them into their classroom, take them into conversations with their best friends, take them in conversations at their homes. The biggest goal, I feel, for anybody, but especially at a young age when you don't have control of your own life in the sense, you have to live with your parents, you have to do what they say, you have to do what the teachers say, the environment you may not have as much of an influence on. Your influence comes from within. Your safety comes from within. And in spite of whatever is happening on the outside, you're able to get a sense of balance. And I know that it works, because it literally saved my life.
Really?
Really. It really saved my life. Starting from, for as long as I have known LaShawn, there's been a sense of patience, passion, and perseverance towards a steady calmness. And I really, really needed that in the way that I was born and the situation that I was born into.
Okay.
And with just a few words, picture a single mom in a low-income area who's addicted to heroin. And so she's sidetracked with everything except for, or maybe in addition to, the raising of her children. And it's not on purpose, but it just happens to be the situation I was born into.
Okay. So when did you get into yoga? When you're talking about it saved you? Because we have a lot of children who are brought up in that same type of situation. A lot of them lash out in anger, frustration, so they can't control, like you said, they can't control their home environment. Mm-hmm. So they go out and do some other things that they think they can control instead of looking from within. So how did that process start for you?
Well, for me, I honestly believe that I was born with it, with a sense of this mindfulness, but I didn't exactly know what it was at the time. And then as I got older, I realized I moved in the direction of mindful movement / yoga and breathing exercises, visualization, and calming exercises. I understood then, as maybe in my 20s, that this was yoga.
Okay.
And so the first thing I started looking at videos, but I was so familiar with it intricately from as a child, and I decided, I actually got laid off of my good government job in Washington, D.C., and every time I need that mindfulness is right here. I mean, it's right here. So it's at the top of my head, at the bottom of my feet, and on the sides of my body. I literally feel encapsulated by it. And in the process of being laid off, it was right there where I went right to that breathing. Inhaling through my nose, exhale breathing. And it created more space between me and the person who was giving me the unexpected news.
Yeah.
And it allowed me to be my best self so that I would not fall into my emotions, because I did feel them, but I also had this almost like a superpower. I really did feel like a superpower. And this superpower is what I decided to go to school and get my MA in integrative health and wellness coaching, take several trainings, and getting several certifications in yoga. One of them being children yoga, because I was pulled back to, I want to show kids how to do this. I really do feel like it is a part of my passion and my purpose. It's my ministry.
Yeah. And you are actually working now with the public school system up there in D.C., which we know that we've heard several stories about their public school system and some of the issues that they have. So tell us how that has been working, and how do you structure that program of going in there during the kids and taking that their time away from class? Is it time they're taking away from class, or is it a class?
So what I do is I get to work in an aftercare program.
Okay.
There's this amazing aftercare program that is continuously growing, and it's called Polite Piggies. And I have had the privilege 13 years ago of working with Polite Piggies and beginning to
So
bring
is it
yoga.
Polite Piggies, what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Polite Piggies. I think that's the most magical name for an organization that have kid activities.
Okay.
And she brought in, her name is Miss Vanessa, and she actually brought in yoga. And parents at the time wasn't sure about it 13 years ago. What is yoga? I do not want my kids meditating. I do not really want my kids to be. So there was a little just uncertainty about it. And the more it was able to be presented, maybe not meditation, how about a peaceful pause? That was easier for people to accept. Okay, they're taking a peaceful pause. Everybody in every day could use a peaceful pause.
Yes.
So that was just that visualization and sitting them down and letting them see, how does it feel to be still? Not sleep still, but still. And then I would describe to them, your heart is now beginning to slow down. And all of that wonderful blood in your body is circulating in a way that's supporting everything on the inside of you. And this is going to make the outside of you feel so much better. And then I would count sometimes. Can you hold it for 5 more seconds? Can you hold it for 4? Can you hold it for 3? Get ready for a deep breath. Can you hold it for 2? Everybody inhale. We would take a deep breath, exhale, breathing, and more than likely, most of the kids would just bust out laughing. Miss LaShawn, I love that. That felt so good. And then we would get into our stretching. And the more the years passed and yoga became more mainstream, the program became more pronounced.
So it just grew.
It just grew. And at one point, it was almost 280 to 290 children that I had a week, Monday through Friday. And I would go through different schools, and I would have the privilege of teaching yoga.
Now, did you see a difference from the time that you got them, just even in their behavior patterns?
Yes. I've seen a difference in their behavior patterns. Many of their parents, as well as their teachers, have also seen a difference in their behavior patterns. And since I've done it for 13 years up until this point, now some of them are like 18, 19, 20 years old, and I still talk to many of them, and they now practice yoga. And a handful of them are yoga teachers.
Really?
They have moved into being yoga teachers. Yeah, I have one interesting case. I had never had this before. I had this amazing child, and they, what do you call it? Selective autism. I had never heard of that before. So none of the time would this child talk, but he would watch everything you did, everywhere you went. Never spoke in class for the whole time he's been in school. But he always did his breathing, and after he did the breathing, he placed his hand on his heart. That was not instructed. He would just place his hand on his heart. Everything about his disposition just appeared to be so calm.
Yeah.
And after 4 or 5 classes with this particular person, still have never heard their voice. At the end of the class, we place our hands and palms together and we honor each other. And I ask them if they want to say the word namaste. That means delight in me, acknowledges and sees delight in you. And I always tell them what it means, and if that doesn't feel good to you, then don't say it. Or maybe you can bring your hands and palms together and just hold them there and not say the word namaste. But I want it to feel good to you.
Yeah.
And they would do it, and this one time, the one person put their hands up. Never had they done that before. And they did not say namaste, but they bowed the head.
So acknowledging that they were being calm. And
Acknowledging participation in the class. See, yoga works through the actual skin into the brain and into the organs, and the human being slowly, gently starts to change. And they take it with them wherever they go, be it their classroom, be it anywhere, be it an adult taking it into their jobs. So it's an honor to be able to share yoga.
It is. Now you're here, I was saying, for a couple of weeks at a local yoga studio, Above and Beyond, because you're teaching some classes there.
Yeah. I have the privilege of being here in Mobile, Alabama. Far away, not that far away, but away from my home and my family, teaching yoga at Above and Beyond Yoga and Salt Therapy. It is an amazing studio here in Alabama. If you've never come to the studio, I would highly, highly recommend it. Yeah. All of the teachers are great, and the owner is phenomenal. And you'll get an opportunity to feel for yourself the benefits of yoga. Do we have a moment so we can maybe do just maybe a mindfulness exercise?
Let's do it, because I'm always high stress.
All right. So wherever you are, for those who are watching us, we thank you. Maybe find yourself a place to sit easy. And both Kym and we are already sitting. Relax your shoulders. You can lean your back up against your chair if that feels comfortable. No matter where you are, even if you're standing, stand up, feel your feet underneath your hips. Maybe arms by your side if standing, if sitting, hand palms in your thighs. Soften your face. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Press the belly away from the body like a big balloon. Exhale, breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if you feel safe, if you're not driving and you are in a space where you can close your eyes softly, close your eyes and just feel. Feel. Start to bring your attention to the back of your eyes. There is a safe space. There is a space in each and every one of us that we can go to create a peaceful pause. Hold that pause. One more nice deep breath in through your nose. Press the belly away. Exhale, breathing. And maybe bring the right hand to your heart center. Your left hand below your belly. It's so good to be in this space with each and every one of you and to be alive. Think of something that fills you with gratitude. You're doing so good. One more time, inhale. Exhale. Slowly open up your eyes. You did so good.
Oh, yeah. I feel the calmness already.
It really does work.
And it does. And I see that, and kids, you said they can start as early as 2 years old.
They can start as early as a newborn. It's just that when I go into the school, they're three. They're pre-K 3.
Okay.
That's where schools. That's the age of where school starts in DC, probably in other places as well.
Yeah.
But I've done it with cousins who are two. Well, you have to help them move their bodies.
Yes.
Because they're not able to move their bodies as much cognitively and just physically. But the older they get and the more they move into their autonomy, like as their own person, they can lift a leg, they can lift their arms. So I start in the schools at pre-K 3.
So it's a good thing to look at to get like our teenagers and our middle school kids and stuff like that in. Mm-hmm. All right, well, we're about out of time. LaShawn, I thank you so much. I love that nice relaxing bring down that I've had to breathe. And we've got all your information on the screen. Again, locally, you're here at Above and Beyond Yoga, and you're here until the end of this month?
I am here until the 21st of this month.
That's quick. That's in another week.
Yeah, that's in another week. So if anyone can come to Above and Beyond, come for the salt therapy, for the yoga class, or for a meditation class, I do not think, not even a little bit, would you regret it. And I would love to connect with anyone via Facebook or online. It's just such a pleasure, and I wish you a good rest of your day.
All right, LaShawn, we're going to leave with her information on the screen to get in touch with her. And of course, it's always, it was a pleasure meeting you. Nice to have you here. And thanks for the tip on helping a lot of our youth in our community. We really appreciate it.
You're so welcome.
All right, thanks so much. Thank you for joining us today on Targeting the Violence.
Every aspect of your life can be lived mindfully. Mindful living is being in the present moment. Activities like yoga and mindful movement are ways to support a person in their mindfulness. Integrating mindfulness into the school system is such a big jump and a big leap and a big support for the children in the school system. It'll support them in absolutely everything that they do. Teaching these techniques and these skills to children at an early age gives them one of the biggest gifts that a caregiver, a teacher, a parent, a mother, a father, a sister, or a brother could ever teach and impart upon another person. teaching them how to eat mindfully, tasting the food, looking at the food, and experiencing it fully. Absolutely everything that comes to their senses, what they hear, what they taste, what they see, what they feel, all have an influence on their being. Mindful living, it gives them the ability to self-regulate, empowering them to be in their own space and not judging who they are. So for our children, it is essential to their development and to their life experiences that we impart upon them ways to be mindful. It is the biggest gift that a human being can give to him or herself.